Today we're going to be talking about mostly antheriums and how smexy they are, how difficult they can be, but no worries. There's no humidifier running in this area, so I'm going to show you how you can make them happy. A lot of birds chirping, some wind, but we're going to make it work per usual. We have some antheriums here. These are the more velvety antheriums. I do not have, where these are located, there's not a lot of humidity available to them. So I'm going to show you how to be able to grow these successfully with grow lights, a window, and no humidity. It's been pretty cool. One of them looks really rough because that was the one I experimented on. I did get my antheriums on Palm Street from Hunter. Really good antherium seller, has lots of stuff. So yeah, this is going to be boobs. So we're going to take out the Mayorii, which is this lovely plant here. I will talk more about her later. It is a Scindapsus. And we're also going to get rid of this one as well, which is a Stedliana aura. Beautiful plant, gorgeous things. We're going to put them aside. So, antheriums, they're very known for their humidity problems. Oh my God, there's a secret one in here too. That is a begonia. We're going to put that out here too. So this was an experiment one on where can I place these, how can I create humidity without a humidifier. That's why she has one leaf. She is currently growing one though. This is a baby one that I had. Okay, so these are the 4 antheriums. That was my first one here, obviously. I got it when she was like one leaf, and it's been about a year and a half that I've had her. She's doing phenomenal now that I figured out the setup without a humidifier. This is the second one and the third one. I bought these pretty close in between. They were my experimental ones. This one mostly has like a nice red undertone. The emergent leaf, which is the leaf that's coming, that's new, when it emerges, it'll be a bright red or a dark red. Sometimes just green like this one. This one's very plain. So is that one. That one hasn't grown into its greatness yet. When you do get a seedling though, however, they do take a while to kind of mature. They do get very big leaves, and when I say big leaves, we're talking anywhere from like 2 to 3 feet depending on the mothers. I know the Black Widow is a very dark color, a nice deep red, and those leaves can get humongous. I mean, they're beautiful. There is a YouTube person that I follow. It's called Oni Plants. He's awesome. He's been going to a lot of these antherium places like Dr. Block's, which is a really big hybridizer, and somewhere else I can't remember right now currently. You can see how beautiful they can become when you get them to their full mother state. These plants here are not in their mother state, obviously, but we're going to talk about it. So I had started out with this one. I've had it on the living room plant rack. There is no humidifier running in there. It is very dry. Very rare in certain times of the year we get a little bit of humidity in there going, depending on how warm it is or how cold it is, and if we're cooking. That's usually where humidity is going to come from, or when we water all of them. They're so tightly packed inside the rack that humidity can stay for a little bit depending on the potting medium. So these are potted in super chunky mixes, very little soil. They do need to dry out, these particular ones. This one is not in a chunky mix. It is in my regular Fox Farm, and because it's a baby, I still let it dry out. It just holds on to water a little bit more, where these don't. You see sphagnum, you see their little personal cups. They do get butt chuggins. So it's when I water them, I put the water inside the cup. It'll chug it until it won't chug anymore. Then I usually just chuck the water inside of this big bin. So I try to keep them together. Not with all of my plants, but these specifically because it is a trowel. They have kept their beautifulness. They haven't yellowed. It's very pretty. I love these. I love the way they feel. Their textures are always different. Sphagnum moss, its own little dish, and then it has a bigger dish. This bigger dish, by the way, has sphagnum moss in it. I'm going to put more in there because I did take some out for something else. Okay, so these anthuriums here, they're going to go from a baby. I've had that seedling for about 1.5 years now. It is just starting to take off since I figured it out. In a room that doesn't have any humidifiers, you can still have an anthurium. I was very intimidated by these particular plants because these plants here, they love humidity. With their velvety leaves, they do need that humidity. But I figured it out with their own personal trays, and as well as with the sphagnum moss being available inside the main tray here. As you can see, I'm going to put some more in there, no worries. I do have some Foliage Pro from Super Thrive. That is sitting in the blue bottle. And then, of course, I got to cut some of the ugly leaves off. That is the green bottle. Anytime you cut something, you want to make sure you have sanitary scissors so that doesn't catch any fungus or infections. And you can't use it for the same plant over and over because, or a different plant, you know, cut this one and cut that one. You can spread viruses and germs, and you will see that in the leaves when you do that. I do use Fizan a lot for these plants, for most of my plants, and I also use alcohol for other plants, especially for mealies. But these plants here, when they do grow, they have a nice, beautiful emergent. Some of them are going to just be a beautiful green. Some of them are going to be a nice red. Sometimes you can get this deep red that's almost black. And they'll start off small and then they'll grow into its new beautiful size. So if you get like a small little tiny baby leaf that's coming out, don't be discouraged. It's still got to grow into its leaves. So with that being said, with this one I don't really have to do much to because it is the baby. It's still a little bit wet down here, so I'm going to just get some more water in there. Sure, blue. You can use regular water for the actual tray filling. Yes, I'm using a spray bottle, guys. Up at the top, I always try to keep the sphagnum moss definitely moist. For here, every 2 or 3 days, I'll just go and spray once or twice. She's done until she needs some watering, which will be soon. As for this guy here, excuse me, I'm going to spray our Super Thrivers. We're going to cut off this leaf here because it's not needed. It's garbage now. The wind blew it. From what I know about this one, it's going to have beautiful big leaves when it matures. A Bessier, if you look up just the regular plant, the Bessier, they are very beautiful. So is the Black Widow and the Michelle. Those are the 3 plants that made this particular plant. I got it from Hunter up on Palm Street. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna spray the top here. I don't have anything on the bottom because this is not like a baby like the other one is. So, you know, spray the top. I'm gonna butt chug them. They're all gonna get butt chugged. This one as well. This one is the Black Widow and a Michelle. It is a Brielle crossed with a red crystal. The red crystals are freaking beautiful. If you go on the YouTube channel, Only Plants, it's what it's called. It's what he's called. His name is Sean. He just did one a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. He's pretty cool at going to a lot of these hybrid. He went down to Dr. Block's. Now, Dr. Block is a really good hybridizer. He has a lot of amazing mother plants in his area. And that's probably where a lot of these do come from. I know that people get to hybridize whatever he hybridizes and makes their own. It's cute, patootie. Again, they do like to dry out. You have to let them dry out properly because if you overwater these, they will get sad looking. So this is mostly because it needs some water. But that is the oldest leaf for sure. So sometimes your older leaves will drop. And that happens. It's okay. It's a process, you know. Got to get those bigger ones in. People do cut for aesthetics purposes. Like, this came to me cut, and it just, from the whole process of me trying. Now this is in need of water. It's very light. So I did use the spray bottle. However, I put all this great Super Thrive in there. Amazon, guys, it's not hard. I just put water on the bottom of them. They're all thirsty, by the way. I haven't watered them. So you can use cocoa coir, some really big perlite, obviously with dirt. You just let them sit there. They will take up the water that they need. Sometimes it could take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. It's random. It depends on how dry their soil is. Even with them having that chunky mix, they still have some of that Fox Farm dirt in it, so the Fox Farm helps absorb whatever water. I do fertilize all my plants all year round. Some people don't agree with that, but I do lower the amount of fertilizer through the winter time, so it's very limited, like a little bit, very little, so that way they don't take on too many nutrients. In the summertime, springtime, they all get like a nice boost of nutrients. You can't overdo it with the nutrients, so be careful. Read the directions, people. You don't gotta know calculus to figure that out. I use a big 5-gallon bucket, and I just put it all in there, and I'll water, and I'll keep doing the process. There's a lot of plants in the house, so it takes me at least 2 or 3 days to water all of these plants. But they are very pretty. They're really nice. How do you get the humidity to stay in that area? Again, we have this. We have these beautiful trays. You can get them at the dollar store for $1.25. These here, I think I got these at Walmart. They were really nice, more convenient, more water instead of coming back and forth and filling it. And sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss is very important. You can get the compressed form, or you can get some of this stuff here in a bag. These they sell at Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. Put it in a Ziploc bag. Make a water mixture with some like Super Thrive root grower, which is what I use for the most part. Mix it inside the Ziploc bag. Let the sphagnum moss fill itself up with the watery goodness. And then when you use it, you know, squeeze out the excess water in the Ziploc bag. You can reuse that water for mini sphagnum moss until it goes really gross. And you can just dump it. At least that's what I do. I don't waste things. And yeah, you put the sphagnum moss up on the top so that it keeps this part humid. The leaves is what needs the humidity, not the roots. The roots like the humidity. That's why you do a chunky mixture. And when I say chunky, I mean chunky, guys. So I'm going to show you the chunky stuffs. So we have some of this stuff here. Excuse me. We have some of this. Some bark. Alright, those are the mixes that I have. This is like a thicker perlite. They do sell the really tiny perlite, which is okay. I use that more for cacti. This would be used for like Antheriums or philodendrons. There's 2 kinds of bark here. I have this bark here that I got on Amazon in a big bag, and then there's your store bark, which is more like chips. This is more chunkier barks. I do like this better than this. I've been saying cocoa coir this whole time, but it's not cocoa coir. Cocoa coir is very moisture retentive. Do not get cocoa coir for these plants. You can get, it's called cocoa husk. It looks like this. Oh, snappities. It looks like this. It comes in a brick. I think you can get it loose too. I've always gotten mine in a brick. I don't have any more. So the one plant in the back I did repot. It doesn't have that. I put lava rocks in there instead. And a bunch of the Amazon chips with the perlite and some of the frog. You can make a mixture, you know, more of the chunky mix than your soil. Still be able to make your mix. You know, if you're going to do your mix, I would do maybe about 30% of this, 30% of this. Oh, that's what they were working at. Hi, Kevin. That are fetishizing about aesthetic pleasing things. No, that's their battle scars. I'm going to leave it. This is the newest leaf. When this leaf came out, it was super red. See how dark that is? They're doing great. That's all I can say. They feel nice and hard. They're not as thin. Like this one is very thin because it's a baby still. The leaves are very long. I know this Antherium, if I'm not mistaken, the sinus is together, as well as this. It's very elongated, kind of like a Delta Force. I want to say Delta Force. Delta Force is very nice. No, Delta Force has like this, guys. It's like a flat sinus like this, and then it comes down. Where these are more loby. I think that one is just all together. I can't remember which one it is that has it all together, but it's that one. Names are really hard when it comes to Antheriums because I'm just starting to get into them. It's been about 3 months that I've been doing it. So, well, that one is over a year. I'm not going to be able to do this. This is so sad and it's so hard. My life choices. Be quiet. Can y'all be quiet, please? I think they're beautiful. It can be intimidating, especially if you don't have a humidity box, which is fine, guys. You don't need a humidity box. Fudge those things. See this baggie? That's your sphagnum moss with its nutrients and its water. Of course, I stole some from the other, from here. I'm just going to sprinkle that in there. It creates the humidity I was talking about. There. Humidity added. I think the top of this is still good. Sometimes your sphagnum moss can turn green. If it's growing stuff, just take that out. Put some fresh stuff in there. You know, you don't want that to choke out the roots in the plant. Sometimes they'll grow in the plant and it'll create some issues. So it happens. This is the one tray I do keep a really hard eye on, amongst other things, by the way, because I do have a love for a lot of other things too. If you look, this part is nice and wet. This part isn't. We're going to put a little bit more agua bananas in there. Just a little bit. I really don't, because I spray so much, and that one's in, I baby this one. Now, prior I did not. This sucker only had like 2 leaves, so look at that. I figured it out, guys. It was cute. It was great. And then we have this one. I don't know how close I can get in there. So the emergent leaf will come out from the stem of its last one. So this is the latest leaf. There's a new one coming out. It's got a nice little bumpy there. It's cute. It'll be a dark red. When it happens and it comes out, we'll make a video number 2 on Antheriums. She has a nice, beautiful red back. I love that about her. She's great. This was the most recent leaf. These 2 are baby leaves. There's a new emergent coming in right there. See it? Yes. Because this is our newest leaf, which is looking stunning. Got a little sheen to her. She's pretty. She's coming in very nicely. When that one comes out, I will show you too. I want to say this is I can't say it right, so don't make fun of me. A Dorothea. But the new emergent leaf for here is going to be on this big leaf here. So those are the sheaths that's supposed to protect it. I just ripped off protection. It's like a mini condom. But that's where the new one will come out. You would think it would be here, but no, that's where this one came out. So they just size up as they go. And they just get bigger. So this one is older leaf. If you notice, these hang down and then this pops up. That's because of the parenting. So some parenting genes are like this. I can't say that word to save my life. Starts with a D, guys. Bam. Sphagnum moss in the tray, guys. See that? It just keeps that nice humidity for around the plant. Like I said, you don't got a humidifier. This has been working for me for a month. I haven't had any leaf drop. When you don't have humidity, these leaves drop very quickly. This sucker here, she came with like 4 leaves. All of them fell off. So I'm going to put her back in there. We're going to put this healthy guy. Seems like it's getting a good wetness. Chopsticks are your friends, or a moisture meter. I don't have one of those. I don't feel the need to get it. So see how nice and dirty that is? You're going to just go even just a little bit. The water has reached up there. You know what to do? Dump it. Put it in. Next. See that? I hope you guys can see this. Oh, she's good. Dump it. So I try to keep this sphagnum moss in the center of the tray, and I try my hardest to keep it really wet, at least there. She looks good now. See how it's getting like the humidity barrier in there? There's a little level of dryness up here. I don't really care. I just want the roots to be able to grow down where the water is. I don't have to stick one in there, but I know she's wet. She's gonna be good. And I keep her specifically with a lot of sphagnum there on her tray specifically. She's a beast. I'm gonna use that for something else later. I never know how to end these things. That is my magnificent tray. For anyone that wants to experiment with antheriums, you can. You can definitely do it. Grab yourself a bag of sphagnum. Remember, get these cute little trays. You can get these. You can get the deeper ones. And your sphagnum. Put as much water as you can and sphagnum in your base tray. So these trays are, my gram gave me a bunch of these. I have a whole stack. They are from Applebee's. But you can go to Walmart. They sell the longer trays. And I did see at Home Depot yesterday, they have these square, beautiful, they're like an opaque color. But they do have them. They're perfectly square. They're about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches. They're at Home Depot. I saw it. I know I didn't get one because they're $12, $13 for one of those trays. Personally, I got free stuff to work with. If you want to pay the 12 something, go crazy. But if you could find a container, a Tupperware or something, go to Applebee's, eat there, get yourself one of these trays, and you can use that as your personal tray. And put your sphagnum moss in the middle again, nice and wet and juicy, not so thick with water that you're filling up the tray and everything's going to absorb that water. You're going to get root rot. Just enough water that sphagnum can absorb it and still be happy and keep the humidity within that region for your leaves. That's really what the humidity is for the leaves. The leaves like to have that moisture presence. The roots, they do not like wet feet. So they do like to dry out. I water these maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week. I know it'll pick up as there's more sun out. I do leave one light on all night and all day. And then we have our regular lights that's on a 12-hour timer. But if you got a light or a window, sphagnum moss and a really chunky mix, guys. A nice chunky mix so that they don't get root rot. It'll help it. And again, I've been experimenting with this since January. Maybe January, February, March. We're going to be in April. So it'll be month number 3. And it's been doing really good. So I'm really happy. I had them in the kitchen. The kitchen table, which was very dry. And it was not working. Those leaves were dropping. That's why we're down to 1 leaf on the other one. On the Bessier. And then I tried the bedroom, because the bedroom, the humidity will fluctuate between 60 and 30%. It wasn't enough for it, so I put it in the most driest part of my home, with some spaggies, and voila. I'll make sure to give you guys an update later on. Thank you for tuning in with me. Don't worry, shenanigans will be coming. I'm still nervous and still trying. Keep watching. Give me input. She's gonna get some sun today. We're gonna have her out here for about an hour. Not longer, only because it hasn't had this much kind of sun all winter. So we don't want to fry the leaves. But it's gonna be beautiful. Take in that energy. Photosynthesize. Y'all, you better come back for the next one, okay? Love you.